I don't care that it's 96 degrees outside. It's September, which means I'm putting pumpkins on my bookshelf. Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Alex and today I'm going to be bringing you my mid-September wrap-up. Now just a couple little housekeeping update things before we get started. If you just want to get right to the books, you can go to this timestamp. First, I want to say that if you are watching this in real time, then you will know that I missed an upload last Saturday. I'm sorry about that. Life happens to the best of us. Things just got really busy. September is a super busy month for me and my family, and it just didn't happen. But we're back today with a brand new video. I also wanted to say that today's video is going to be a little tiny bit on the shorter side because I have only finished 3 books so far in the month of September, but I am going to also give you a look into what I'm currently reading, and that will help you understand why the numbers have been a little low. As you guys know, I'm not going to be giving you any stats in this video. All the stats for all the books that I read throughout the month will go in my end of month wrap up at the end of September. So if you are not already, be sure to hit the subscribe button down below so that you don't miss out on any of my content. And without further ado, let's get started. The first book that I completed in September was The Borrower by Rebecca Makkai. Now this book follows our main character Lucy, who is a children's librarian in a small town in Missouri, and she has this favorite patron who is 10-year-old Ian Drake. Now Lucy has a pretty rocky relationship with Ian's mother, and Lucy comes to learn that Ian's mother is enrolling him in weekly anti-gay classes. One day Lucy comes into the library early and she finds Ian basically camped out, running away from home, and they wind up embarking on this crazy nationwide road trip together. Now I felt like the premise alone was pretty interesting and I felt like it would be really nice, but I feel like you really have to suspend your disbelief because I just realistically never see anything like this happening. I think that a lot of it was entertaining and there were a lot of crazy shenanigans that were going on, but if I really sat back and thought about could this in any universe happen, my answer would be no. Because throughout the whole novel, Lucy keeps talking about, oh, well, I'm gonna take him back. Oh, well, I'm gonna take him back. I'm gonna take him back. But that was believable for maybe the first day or two of their trip. Like, maybe he just needs to get away and I'll take him back and blah, blah, blah. But then especially by the end of the novel and how everything wraps up, I did not believe any of it. I did appreciate the very end. Like, the epilogue was really nice. I appreciated that a lot. But the whole rest of the story, it just wasn't for me. So overall, I was pretty disappointed in this one and wound up giving it a 2.5 out of 5 stars. Now on a better note, the next book that I read in September was Sassafras by Trish Heald, and I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to the author and her team for sending me this novel for review. It releases on October 1st. Sassafras follows our main character Champs, and Champs is newly widowed. He has been without his wife for a couple months now, and he is living in this retirement community called Egret's Pond, and his wife convinced them to move there back a few years ago, and he absolutely hates it. So he is officially tired of grieving. He wants to be alone with his wife and his memories of her. He's sick of everybody else telling him how he should feel. His biggest dream is to go out to the cabin that he owns on the Sassafras River, be left alone so he can fish all day, drink all day, and just do what he wants to do. But when he arrives at the cabin, he comes to find out that his children have redesigned everything, taken away everything that was his and made it feel like home, and they're planning to turn it into an Airbnb. From there, we meet all of Chance's family and his friends on the river. We learn a lot of family drama and secrets that are going on in the community, and we just basically follow Chance on a wild ride. And when the author and her team reached out to me, one of the comparisons that this novel was made was to A Man Called Uwe by Frederick Bachman, and that is one of my favorite novels of all time, so I was very intrigued by that alone. And I will say, I 100% see the comparison. Chance is that beloved curmudgeon, just like Uwe is. He has his faults, and you know that he's kind of ornery and crotchety, and maybe you wouldn't like him too much in real life, but you really come to love him throughout the novel. In general, all of the characters in this novel are very strong. They all have their own unique personalities, and they all have their own good things and their own flaws. And one thing I really appreciated was that not everybody is picture perfect by the end of the novel. Everybody is still flawed by the time this is all over with, but they have all grown in some way. Another thing I really appreciated was the writing style. It wasn't too overly flowery, so it's definitely something that goes along with the story of this crotchety old man, but there are a lot of descriptions in here of the sassafras and the different fish that he catches and the beers that he drinks. And I'll be the first to admit, I am not an outdoorsy person. I could care less if I go fishing or I drink beer, but I did really appreciate the descriptions that the author added in, and I don't feel like they took away from the story at all. And if you are a nature lover or a beer lover, you will gain more from it because of that. Just based on the synopsis, I didn't think that this would be a novel that would have a whole lot of plot twists, but there are definitely some plot twists, and they are interesting, and they just throw everything out the window, and it was just really overall a really well done debut novel. I really cannot wait to see what else this author does in the future. Again, huge thank you to her and her team for sending me an e-copy of this book to review. Really appreciated it. And if you are interested in this novel, like I said, it goes on sale October 1st. I will leave the Amazon link down below so you can pre-order it or order it once it is on sale. Overall, I wound up giving Sassafras a 4 out of 5 stars. And the third novel that I finished in September was The Turn of the Key by Ruth Ware. Now, this is my first Ruth Ware novel, and I was not planning to pick it up yet because I wanted to read a few more of her other works first, because I had heard so many people say that her other works are good but not great, they're kind of meh, and this one was incredible. So I thought, you know, I want to read all of her work, but if I start with the stuff that's not as good, then once I read The Turn of the Key, it'll just blow me out of the water. But I went to the library, it was on the new releases shelf, and I couldn't not read it. So I picked it up, and guys, this was really good. The Turn of the Key follows our main character, Rowan, who is working at a nursery, and she sees this ad for a live-in nanny. So when she goes to interview for this nanny position, she comes to find out that it's at this old Victorian home that has since been redesigned, and it is now a smart house. And the mother of the children that she's going to be nannying for lets her in to tell her that there might be some secrets about the house. They haven't been able to hold down a nanny, so the salary that they're offering her is very, very generous because they want somebody that will stick around. But the house is a little bit creepy, and there's some weird goings on, and shenanigans ensue from there. Now, the thing that I really appreciated about this novel, and this is not a spoiler, this happens in the first chapter of the novel. This book is told in an epistolary style format, so Rowan, the main character, is writing letters all throughout the novel to this man named Mr. Wrexham. And you find out in the very first letter that Rowan is in prison. She's writing to Mr. Wrexham because she wants him to represent her case. And she is in prison for being accused of murdering one of the children that she was nannying for. The thing that I really liked about the letters, and where I think this novel really shines, is that you will get yourself so lost and caught up in the narrative, and just like you're reading a normal story, and then Rowan will say something to Mr. Wrexham and you're like, oh yeah, this is a letter. So it was kind of creepy in that way, but it just sucks you in, and this novel, I absolutely flew through it. It usually takes me quite a while to read physical books because I don't just sit down and read for a while. I finished this book in 3 days. This book is 100% worthy of the hype that it's been getting. If you haven't picked it up yet and you're looking for something spooky and creepy for the Halloween season, I would definitely recommend going for this one. Shouldn't be no surprise that I wound up giving this book a 5 out of 5 stars. So those are the 3 books that I have finished so far in September, but I also want to talk about 3 books that I am currently reading. So the first book I'm listening to on audio is Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. The internet might kill me for this, but this is my first Jane Austen novel. But I'm loving it, so maybe that'll save me. I tried really hard to finish up this novel before I filmed this video, but alas, we couldn't do it. But I am almost done. I think I have about 2 hours left in the audiobook. I'm listening to it on faster speed, so adjusting should be about 2 hours left, so it will definitely be done in the next couple of days. I'm not even going to describe what Pride and Prejudice is about because I feel like everybody has read it except for me, but I'm very excited to finish it up and I'm loving it so far. The next book that I am reading on my phone is A Million Junes by Emily Henry. This book follows our main character, June O'Donnell, and for her entire life, she has been told to stay away from the Angert family. The two families have had a rivalry going back generations and generations, and at this point, nobody really remembers exactly why they hate each other. Both sides have been told different stories to get to hate the other family, but June knows that she is supposed to have nothing to do with anybody from the Angert family. Now, Saul Angert is around June's age, a little bit older, and he has been gone from their town for about 3 years, and he mysteriously comes back. So June finds herself drawn to him and he to her, and they are trying to figure out the truth behind their family's rivalries, and there's a little bit of magical realism thrown in there where they are experiencing some memories from their lost loved ones. Now, I have read another book from Emily Henry in the past. I read The Love That Split the World a year or two ago, and it was not my favorite thing. I think I was a pretty unpopular opinion on that one, but this one, I'm about a third of the way through and I am enjoying it so far. I'm definitely liking it better than The Love That Split the World. So hopefully I will finish it soon and be able to give you my thoughts at the end of the month. Sorry if my angle changed, I had to move the camera. But the last book that I have been reading, and the main reason that I haven't finished more books in the month of September, I am currently almost done with Kingdom of Ash by Sarah J. Maas. Now, you guys know, if you watched my mid-month August wrap-up and my August wrap-up, I finished Empire of Storms and Tower of Dawn last month, and I was not planning to pick up Kingdom of Ash right away, but then Tower of Dawn was so good, and Kingdom of Ash was available at my library and on ebook, I couldn't not do it, so I just randomly decided to pick up a 1,000-page book. It's fine. But as this is the 7th and final book in a series, I am obviously not going to give you a synopsis on it, but I feel like the Throne of Glass series speaks for itself. Doesn't really need a synopsis anymore. Everybody has read this. But this book is almost 1,000 pages long. I think it hits right at like 980 pages, and I am a little bit more than 700 pages of the way through. So if I hadn't been reading this, that would equal at least 2, if not 3 more books. So this is the reason that this wrap-up is a little bit shorter, but you will be hearing all of my thoughts on this at the end of the month. So that is it for my mid-month wrap-up. Let me know if you guys have read any of these books or if you're interested in them and what you have finished so far in the month of September. As always, if you guys like what you saw today, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up, as well as hitting the bell button and the subscribe button down below so that you never miss out on any of my content. So until next time, bye!